Welcome to the Full Count Pick Six podcast. Get ready for these self-claimed experts to talk everything sports. Here is Luke, Will, Gage, and Aaron.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Full Count Pick Six podcast. Today, we only have 50% of the crew here. It's only me and Gage. Luke and Aaron are absent today. But we're going to get right into it, talking some baseball today, looking into season predictions, such as the season awards, the playoffs, everything baseball we're going to cover today. How are you doing today, Gage?
Oh, man, if I was doing any better, it would be criminal. So I'm ready to talk some baseball.
Glad to hear it. Where did you want to start today? Did you want to start with season awards or predictions?
Well, I think we should start with predictions because that gradually leads to the awards, right? Because you'd think the best teams would beat the best awards, wouldn't you think?
Yes, sir. So how about we start in the AL and we go down the divisions?
All right.
First
Let's
off, with
start.
the AL East. Who do you have winning the AL East?
I have winning the AL East. I definitely think the Blue Jays are going to win the AL East. And here's why. I think the Blue Jays have very talented pitching, and I think they have a lineup that doesn't have many weaknesses. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to think the Yankees, but I think the Yankees have a lot of weaknesses in their lineup. So that's the main reason I'm picking the Blue Jays, because when you got a top rotation of Gosman, Manoah, and Jose Barrios, that's pretty good. What do you think?
Yes. So here's what I think. I think to begin the season, now the Yankees have some injuries.
True.
They're in a predicament right now where they have Severino out. They say he's only supposed to miss one or two times through the rotation, but that's best guess. So I still think Severino is going to miss more time. I understand he is throwing.
Yeah.
And Rodon, obviously, he has an injury history, but if
Oh, yeah.
you get him healthy back in a month, that's a big addition to your team. I still think, even with all of that, the Yankees win the AL East. I
Ooh.
just think the Yankees are built for the regular season. They're going to mash, and they're just going to take advantage of the teams that don't have the power and might not have the pitching depth that they do. Now, when we get to the playoffs, that's a little different, as we saw last year with Houston and the Yankees, with Houston sweeping, and it's a little different. But I got the Yankees in first, Blue Jays in second, the Rays in third, Red Sox fourth, Orioles fifth.
Oh, you know what? Here's what I don't get. I think I don't understand why. Why do you think that the Yankees, like the Blue Jays, do you admit they have a better lineup? Like, as far as like they have more depth. Don't you agree?
I think the Blue Jays do have more depth. But I
So,
think the thing is, when you look at it, um, the Yankees, I believe, are in a position where when everything comes down to it, they're going to be more in line with where they're more established. Because if I look at people such as a Judge, LeMay,
mhm.
Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Glaber, um, Donaldson,
Right.
I look at that, and that's a cast of guys who have consistently done it. Now, if you look at the Blue Jays, they may be stronger at more positions. I mean, if we go around the diamond,
Yeah,
catcher,
that's what
Blue Jays are stronger.
catcher
It's the
definitely
Blue
the
Jays are
Blue.
stronger.
What? Because they have two catchers that are better than the Yankees one.
Yeah, they do.
Danny
Kirk
Jansen
and
and Kirk are better.
what's up?
Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk are better than freaking Jose Trevino.
And they also have Varsho who can play catcher.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot he plays catcher sometimes. But
First base.
and
Vladdy's better than Anthony Rizzo.
it's not even close.
No, it's not.
Second base. I don't who is the Blue Jay second baseman now? It's not Santiago Espinal, is it?
It might be.
Huh. Well, if that's the case, I think Glaber's better. But I don't know if it is Santiago Espinal. I think it's someone else. I just can't think of who it is. Shortstop.
Whit Merrifield.
Oh, he might be better than Glaber.
He is better than Glaber.
And then, dude, I'll tell you right now, Bo Bichette's
Third
better.
base, Matt Chapman's better than Donaldson.
Yes, for sure.
Shortstop, Bichette's better than Volpe.
Way.
In left field, I believe that's where they're sticking Varsho right now. I know he can play practically everywhere out there.
Yeah.
But even then, is Varsho giving you more than Stanton?
Yes.
And then in center field, you're going to have Kiermaier.
Judge destroys him. Oh, wait, Judge is playing right, isn't he?
He is playing. I think he's going to float around out there, though.
Okay.
And then right field, you have George Springer.
Which, that's very comparable to Judge.
What?
He is, as far as defense and hitting in general.
Yeah, I think the problem with Springer hitting is he's very streaky and he needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, but I
mean, Springer, if he stays healthy for 160 games, I mean, hell, he could hit 35, 40 home runs. That's just how good he is.
Exactly, and I think he will take Judge in batting average. I think he's got better defense than Judge.
He does have better defense than Judge. And designated hitter, this is a big one. I didn't realize that this was their designated hitter, Brandon Belt. I mean, I understand
A good
Brandon
one.
Belt's older. He's not the player he used to be. But, I mean, he doesn't have to focus on defense. He can just hit. I mean, he raked an Oracle for all those years. He was pretty damn good out there.
And I think he's a good DH. I would take him. I don't care how old he is. He can hit.
Okay. So here's the thing where I think the Yankees separate themselves, though, is when you look into their rotation.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's going to argue Garrett Cole's better than Manoah.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Gausman had a good year last year. Now, it was not consistent with what he's been doing in his career. I mean, he has a career ERA almost at 4. So, I mean, take that as you want it. ERA doesn't tell you everything. But the Blue Jays pitching coach is great. Look what he did to Robbie Ray. He made him incredible.
He did.
And then Jose Barrios, he struggled last year. How's he going to be this year?
Probably pretty good.
Chris Bassett's another guy who, as your number 4, I mean, that's Chris Bassett's pretty damn good if he's your number 4.
Absolutely.
And then they have Ryu on their IL, who, if he comes back, he's obviously their 5. And then they have Yusei Kikuchi slotting in at the 5th spot.
I think that's a damn good lineup.
I think it's good. I think it's a good rotation, but I just think the Yankees is better.
The only thing is, you were mentioning Gausman's career ERA. He has been so much better ever since that year on 2021, I think, on the Giants. And then he went to the Blue Jays and he was really good. And I know it's so early, but he had a good first start of the year. Even though they lost, they were unearned runs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Unearned.
And you got to cut him some slack. He was playing the best team in the NL, so.
That's funny. But okay, let's think about the Yankees' depth, right?
Uh-huh.
Now think about this. and it's a little weird because they're running out multiple guys. One thing I do want to give credit to is Jordan Romano. He is a good closer,
Oh yeah.
and they have a bunch of other guys who you could slot in there at different places. But anyway, the Yankees rotation as it sits right now, they have Garrett Cole, Domingo Herman,
But
Nestor Cortez, who's actually starting tonight,
okay.
Clark Schmidt. He's a guy that you can slot anywhere. I think Clark Schmidt's pretty talented.
Okay.
Then they have Joni Burrito. Is that his name?
I think he got demoted back to AAA.
He looked pretty good yesterday, but if he got demoted, then okay, then he's got demoted. But I mean, you have Luis Severino, Carlos Rodon, and Frankie Montas on your IL right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's scary.
That is scary. Two of them on 50-day. Frankie Montas is on the 60-day.
Yep.
They have Clay Holmes as their closer.
He's not bad.
He's not bad. I think Romano is better.
Absolutely.
Setup men of Wandy Peralta and Jonathan Lasagna. I'm just going to say Lasagna. I'm not even going to pronounce it.
I think it's Loisaca.
It is Loisaca. If you think about their catchers, they have Trevino and Higashioka.
But
Kirk's better than both of them. Rizzo,
so is Danny Jansen.
we already went through that. Glaber, Whit Merrifield's up better. Donaldson, not even a comparison. Chapman's better. Volpe,
Yes.
I like Volpe. He's talented. We'll see what he can do. But he's just not. He's just not there. In left field, Aaron Hicks is at the top of their depth chart. Although Stanton was playing left field the other day. Bader's on the IL right now. So Judge is slotted in center field. Stanton, Oswaldo Cabrera, designated hitter Stanton Donaldson. So they're kind of thin right now. And I mean, like we said earlier, you can't win a pennant in April, but you sure as hell can lose one.
That's true.
So the Yankees, and they started off pretty hot. Don't get me wrong; they looked good against San Francisco. How are they going to progress? Are they going? Is their lack of depth with injuries going to affect them, or are they going to keep it afloat? Now that's a question for other people. I'm not good with the whole injury thing, but I just think a fully healthy Yankees team. I don't think this is close.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see.
We will see. I mean,
And then
about 3 games. I mean, let's be honest. The Rays are undefeated.
another thing, though, I didn't like about your rankings. I think the Orioles are better than the Red Sox. I'm sorry. I just think they are.
I think they could be a team who overperforms. I can't put them up there yet, but maybe they'll overperform. But
I think you're getting a lot of good production out of guys that aren't necessarily like all-star talent. Like Jorge Mateo has been pretty good. And guys like Austin Hayes have been pretty good. And you know what I mean? Like
Austin
Ryan
Hayes
Mountcastle.
seems like a guy who starts out hot every year, and then he kind of fizzles out by the All-Star break. Don't get me wrong, Austin Hayes is a man who has no problem hitting for the cycle. He almost did it the other day.
Yeah,
We've done it before.
And you can't count out
a guy who
Jorge
I think
Mateo.
honestly is kind of an X factor for them this year is
Who?
Anthony Santander.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a good year.
They better hope so.
Yeah.
So that's enough about the AL East. What about the AL Central?
Okay, the AL Central. Well, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I think the AL Central is a bit tricky because they're not even close to any of the best teams in the MLB, but they are pretty competitive, I'd say, within their division. So I think the best of them, it's really tough, but I think it's the Cleveland Guardians just because I think they have the best rotation, and I think they also have more talent in their lineup. The second, though, I definitely have to give it to the White Sox because they have a good rotation too. I'd say it's on par with the Guardians, maybe even deeper. I think you might agree with that. Don't you think it's a little bit more depth in the rotation on the White Sox?
I I believe so. Yes, especially with McKenzie out to start the year.
Right. And the White Sox, they have some pretty solid hitters too. I think Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, and honestly, Andrew Vaughn's he looks promising. Like those guys are really good. I'm trying to think. I think they have another pretty solid hitter.
Yohan Moncada.
Yeah, Yohan Moncada, and he's a switch hitter. He's
Can he
pretty
stay?
good.
I've heard some problems with him being a me first guy,
Yeah.
so maybe that's a problem. But who knows? I just think we have to really dissect the AL Central.
I think the Twins are good too.
I believe the Twins. It's tough. It's a very tough. It might be the toughest division to gauge in all of baseball.
Yeah,
I
because
think personally, any of those three teams can win. Personally, I gotta go the Guardians, but I think the Twins are number two.
really over the White Sox.
I think so. Yes, I see how the White Sox imploded last year. Now you can say that was because La Russa couldn't run a clubhouse or whatever, and that he was out of his league or whatever, and he's outdated and he doesn't follow the analytics and can't find a good balance between them. But I just personally think the Twins were at a spot where they had injuries last year, and they still almost won the division. Now,
And I
I mean, if
the thing
Byron
about
Buxton can stay healthy, you put him and Correa together,
pretty good.
and then they're pitching. I mean, you have Sonny Gray, you have Joe Ryan.
No.
You can go down the list.
Look, I'm going to give you a rotation. This is the best. The White Sox they have I think they just have better because Lucas Giolito, Lance Lynn, Michael Kopech, Mike Clevenger, and then they have Dylan Cease, who's like the best. Honestly, I'm not even joking. He might be better than Shane Bieber. He might be.
Cease is good.
He might be better than Shane Bieber, seriously. I always think when I think of the king pitcher of the AL Central, I always think of Shane Bieber. But I think Dylan Cease might have him.
Yeah, he very well could. I think Dylan Cease is progressing better. I think we will look back at the end of the year and say Dylan Cease is the best pitcher in the NL Central. Sorry, the AL Central. I don't know why I said the NL.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will be.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty. It's a very competitive division. I mean, I don't know how the White Sox are going to progress. I mean, you can even factor in they have Tim Anderson, so they got some dogs in that clubhouse. But when I start seeing stuff like this team, they don't have a true leader, they don't have somebody who has stepped up and taken over the clubhouse. That's a problem to me.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you see a guy like Yohan Moncada is a me first guy and doesn't put the team first. That's a problem, I think. I mean, honestly, if I was in that clubhouse, I would be looking at Lucas Giolito, who seems like the veteran there, to just kind of step up and say, "Hey, last year we underperformed. It was a disappointment for all of us. I mean, I had an ERA that was practically 5. I had a bad year, but we're going to hone this thing together and move forward. And he's going to bounce back. And I do think Lucas Giolito will bounce back.
Well, he was awful last year.
He was awful. I mean, he can't get any worse. He was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's only up from here.
Yeah, so I think he will do that.
But the Guardians are the Royals and the Tigers. Do you think they even have a shot?
I don't know. There's no shot in hell. Now, I think of those two teams, I think the Tigers, with the young guys like Riley Green and Torkelson,
Yeah,
they have Javi Baez was bad last year too.
horrible.
I think the Tigers are gonna watch their team, and they're going to, they're gonna have, obviously they know they're not going to compete, so the fans aren't going to have high expectations, but I think they're going to get a glimpse into the future. I mean, they acquired 2 guys who have a lot of heart and who are very versatile. They got Matt Veerling and Nick Maton. So those are 2 guys who are going to get regularly scheduled playing time. So I think and they're young guys who have experience going to a World Series. So I think you're going to see them really honing in. And I don't think they're going to be competitive, but I think they're going to have a good year. But the Royals, I just think, are a dumpster fire. The only thing for me there that I have my eyes on for the Royals is Zach Greinke trying to get to 3,000 strikeouts, because I think once he does that, it solidifies his Hall of Fame spot. But they really don't have anything to look forward to besides Bobby Witt Jr. and Zach Greinke.
MJ Melendez.
Yeah, you're right. But there's just a dumpster fire. There's nothing positive about that.
No, there isn't. But I really do think Greinke. I hope he gets there. What is it? What's he trying for? The 3,000 strikeouts?
Yeah.
I hope he gets there.
Yeah,
how many does he need?
13. He hasn't gone over 100 strikeouts in his last couple of years, so he'll probably need 2 years, but I think he will get there.
And do you think that will guarantee him in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, because 3,000 strikeouts is kind of like the echelon. It was always 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts. We're not going to see anybody get to 300 wins ever again, just because of the whole longevity thing. But 3,000 strikeouts just is obtainable for him, and once he gets there with his resume, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he arguably could have 3 Cy Youngs if he didn't play in the same league as Clayton Kershaw.
Wait, do you seriously think we'll never see a guy get the 300 wins in his career again?
I don't think so now.
Why?
It's so hard. It's just really hard to get there.
But the thing is, if you can stay healthy, you can get about 33 wins a season.
You can get 33 starts a season. You can't get 33 wins a season.
Well, I think you can.
What?
I think a dominant enough pitcher can win every start.
I don't think so. When you factor in the fact of run support and all the other factors that go into it.
I don't know, man. Dominance is dominance.
I don't think so. There hasn't been a 30-game winner in a long time.
Well, it's possible.
And then think about it. You have to manage that for 10 years.
How'd they do it?
I mean, they just pitched a long time. They pitched more often back then. I mean, they were horses. They went on, they pitched 300 innings a season on a consistent basis.
It's crazy. That's a shame.
If you did it in 15 seasons, you would have to average 20 wins a season for 15 years.
That's freaking crazy.
I'm sorry. I just don't see anybody getting there.
That's crazy. The people that do have it and have that milestone, though, that speaks to how great they were.
Yeah, it really does.
Because
then
now,
the guys who are over 4,000 strikeouts.
oh my God, that's insane.
So think about it this way: I this is just an example. The one guy who I think is probably the most underrated pitcher in all of history, just because people don't understand like his career, right? He has 329 wins,
Oh
a
my God.
3.22 ERA, 4,136 strikeouts, four NL Cy Youngs, a Triple Crown, a Gold Glove, a four-time NL wins leader, NL ERA leader, and a five-time NL strikeout leader.
I know who it is.
Who's that?
It's Steve Carlton.
It is Steve Carlton.
You think he's the most underrated pitcher in MLB history?
Yeah, and think about it. He did that in 23 years. He got to 329 wins.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Would you say he's the greatest lefty ever?
I think he's the greatest lefty ever. I mean, I understand Randy.
Randy?
Look, I understand Randy's good, but to me, when I think of lefty, I think of Steve Carlton. I mean, it's literally his nickname.
Yeah, it is lefty. That's crazy. Oh man. So, all right. The NL Central, yeah, it's all right. They could do something, maybe. Probably not. So, how about the AL West?
Now, the AL West. I, I mean, I think we both know the Astros are probably going to win that division.
I think it's all but guaranteed.
I got the Astros first, Mariners second, Angels third, Rangers fourth, Athletics fifth.
No shock there. I don't think it's even possible that the Athletics, like they're horrible. Let's be honest. They might be the worst team in baseball. They really might.
Yeah,
But
they very well could be.
here's where I'm going to disagree with you. Astros won. I seriously think the Texas Rangers are going to be number two.
That's
How
shocking.
nuts is that?
Over the Mariners.
Yep, I think they're third, and I think the Angels are fourth. And you know who's last. I don't even need to say their name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Dude, I'm serious. I think the Rangers, think about it. They spent a lot of money. They're ready.
They did spend a lot of money.
A lot. Think about it. They brought Corey Seager in. Huge contract. Marcus Simeon, huge contract. Freaking DeGrom, huge contract. Like it's crazy. They're spending hordes of money. And they
Evaldi,
Evaldi, yeah, they're paying these guys
Heaney,
big
even
bucks.
John Gray got a massive contract.
They're ready to win. They're ready to win. I get the Mariners are good and I feel like they're like that ultimate underdog that everybody loves. But I don't know, man. I think the Texas Rangers are better.
I personally think if Jack Leiter can get to the
Oh,
can get to the majors this year,
just think.
it would really be something. I just think the Rangers are about a year away.
Yeah, I mean, but they got to hurry because Marcus Simeon, he's at the end. He's on the wrong side of 30.
I believe Corey Seager might be too.
So they got to hurry or these guys will be they're wasted money.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, that obviously like the Astros are just too good. I think they're the best team in the AL.
I don't think they have a weakness.
No, and I get that they did not look good opening weekend, but like did they win? Did they win a game?
They did.
So they won one, right? And the White Sox won two.
They were 2-2.
See, I just think that's crazy that the White Sox, like, I thought they were going to come in and just sweep them. Not that it matters. Yeah, the Astros are too good. I don't see anybody beating them in the AL. But let's move on to the NL, where I do see some teams that could take them. Let's
All right.
start. Let's start with the NL West. We're going to go backwards this time.
All righty. When I look at the NL West, there's a new dog in the fight.
And who's
There's a new
that?
top dog. The San
And
Diego
who?
Padres are winning this division,
Oh yeah.
especially with the balanced schedule. They don't have to face the Dodgers 19 times a year.
Nope.
And we've seen teams throughout baseball, the Yankees take advantage of the Orioles over the years. The
Yeah.
Central, I mean, all the Brewers and the Cardinals took advantage of the Cubs and the Pirates and the
Yeah.
Reds all those years.
Yeah. They did.
Now
No
the
more.
Rockies and Diamondbacks are still not going to be good,
No.
but the Padres win that division. The Dodgers are going to be second. Now here could be a shocker. I believe the Diamondbacks could be in third, the Giants fourth, Rockies fifth.
I can agree with that.
I
Because
think
because
the Diamondbacks, I think they have a lot of young talent. I mean, outside of Gallen, they don't got much in the pitching department.
no, they don't.
Bumgarner's old, he's past his prime, and he's trash.
I think the thing is the the rotation, like, yeah, Gallen's great, but I don't you're right. Merrill Kelly, he's okay, right? He's decent.
He's decent. He's probably, I think he's a 4. He's definitely not a number 2.
Um, but yeah, I think you're right about the Padres. Like, they just got better. They were already great. Then they got Xander Bogaerts, right? Like,
Yes, sir.
Xander Bogaerts, he's a top 5 shortstop.
I think he's top 5 shortstop.
And I I think they're going to win it too, and I think they're one of the teams that can compete with the Astros. I think they can. And then the Dodgers, they're still good, even though Walker Bueller's on the IL with coming off Tommy John and stuff. They're still really good, and they still have a great lineup. They're going to be dogs. They'll make the playoffs. Though Padres and Dodgers will both have 100-win seasons. Then yeah, I agree with your list. Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies are bad. So
They are bad. They don't got much. That's a team that has no future. Like, they got nothing. That fan base has nothing to look forward to.
would you agree that Padres can take the Astros?
Um, I think they got a lot of great experience in the playoffs last year. I think they're another team that just needs to get their guys back healthy. Musgrove, obviously. You got to get Fernando back. Soto has to have a bounce back year. Even though his year was still great, I think he just needs to
Yeah.
bounce back. Cronenworth, probably the most underrated guy on that team, just because you don't really think about him because you have Machado and all the other
Tatis.
guys. And then you have their pitching. Their pitching can go with anybody.
Oh, did you see Seth Lugo the other day?
Yeah, Seth Lugo's always been good. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But he went 7 innings.
He did go 7 innings. He's stretched out. He's ready to go. Well,
That's
even
crazy.
Martinez is good. Like, Martinez, I believe, went 7 innings too.
That's crazy. Like, these guys they're going deep in games already.
Yeah.
And then But yeah, NL West, yeah, it's a good division for sure. Let's go on to my favorite division in all of baseball, the NL Central. What are you thinking there?
The NL Central. Well, that is an interesting division. And there's a team who made a lot of additions to their pitching staff and their offense. I think there's a team in the NL Central who really needed offense, and they got it.
That would be the Cubs.
The Cubs, yes. Another team who I look at a team who added Renfro and a couple other pieces. And they have maybe the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball in the rotation.
Oh, you think the Brew Crew?
The Brew Crew is going to win that division.
You think?
I don't think I know so.
I don't know, man. I don't think they have the lineup.
I think they added some pretty good additions. I think
Like-
Rowdy's going to have a big year.
Oh my God. Who else do you think they added? That's so good.
Well, they added some big pieces. I mean,
Okay. Again,
Jesse
I'm asking
Winker.
who? Who?
Winker's going to be good.
Jesse Winker. Okay. Been there. The Cardinals have already faced him. He posed no threat, so I'm not afraid of him. Who else?
Bryce Terang, I believe he's going to be good.
No, not afraid of him. I don't even know who that is. I'm going to be honest with you.
William Contreras.
He's not that good.
Yelich could have a bounce back.
He'll
Yeah.
get hurt.
Willie Adames.
He's decent.
I mean,
Okay.
Brian Anderson on third base is not too bad.
Bro, be real. No. Who else?
Garrett Mitchell, he's going to be good.
Dude. All right. That's enough. So yeah, not that good. And then the rotation.
Okay, let's get into their pitching. You
That's
have
good.
Woodruff as your number 2. You have Burns as your number 1, and you have Freddie Peralta. I'm sorry. They may not win the division. I still think they can. But if they get into the playoffs, that's dangerous because they can pitch with anybody.
Would you be afraid to face them in the playoffs?
I would be afraid to face them in the playoffs.
So I'm
If you're
surprised
talking
you
a
haven't.
best of 3 in a wild card series, yeah, I'd be afraid of them. Yeah.
All right. But what do you think? So I get it. They have good rotation, probably a great rotation, I think you could say. But
Yeah.
the lineup, not great. On the other hand, you got the St. Louis Cardinals, who have an incredible lineup. And I don't think you can argue that. It's definitely one of the best lineups in baseball. There's no doubt about it. And then the pitching, I know it gets a lot of hate, but it's actually not that bad if you look at it. It's not that bad. Jordan Montgomery's not bad at all. He's actually pretty good. And then I also think Jack Flaherty, when healthy, is a stud. I'm not like the man is a Cy Young contender when he's healthy. And then Wainwright, he's 40, but he'll still go deep for you, give you a lot of innings. And then you got Michaelis, who's also pretty good, usually, not opening day, but so, and then you got guys, that have they could be good, like Jake Woodford. I don't know if Liberatore's coming back. I think he's been demoted to AAA, but he's a young guy. I think he's only 23, but I don't think this is bad. I think they're the guaranteed winners. I mean,
You just got a little bit of bias playing in there.
Who's that?
You got a little bit of a bias playing into that.
You think?
Yeah. I don't think their pitching is as good as you're hyping it up to be.
Well, why not? Do you agree? Jack Flaherty, when healthy and ready to go, he's a Cy Young contender.
Which version of Jack Flaherty are we getting?
We're getting the version of 2021 when he went on that 9-game win streak and he was just phenomenal.
Now, if you're getting that, it adds a little bit to your argument. But I mean, I wouldn't want to put a lot of stock in Wainwright as your ace. Montgomery, I mean, which also another guy with injury history. I mean, then you have Michaelis. I mean, another guy with injury history. Michaelis
Yep.
honestly might be your most consistent starter.
He's good.
And then Steven Matz.
Oh, I forgot about him. He's good too.
He's not that good.
So yeah, I'm telling you, man, they're winning that division. The Brewers what's the good of a team if you can't score runs?
I mean, they scored 10 runs today.
But remember who they played.
The New York Mets.
They suck.
The Mets don't suck.
Yeah, they do. I'm telling you, we'll get to that in a minute. But
I mean, Brewers. We're talking opening day.
I get that? Would you agree though? Would you agree that division is going to come down to the Cardinals and the Brewers?
Yeah. I think the Cubs made strides, but that's another team. They have a lot of young pitching like Wisniewski. I think he's going to be good. I mean, Steele's going to be good.
And then Marcus Stroman's he's pretty good. And
I mean,
and so
what version of Nico are you going to get?
Yeah.
Dansby's going to be good. I think Dansby might be a little bit overrated. Ian Happ's decent. Mancini, he's a platoon guy. Patrick Wisdom and Madrigal. I mean,
Yeah.
not really guys I would really be, excited with. Can Cody Bellinger turn it around?
Maybe.
And they got Jan Gomes as their catcher.
And I think
they can score runs. I think they can be competitive. I think they can get 80 wins, but there's just not much support.
I think the Reds and the Pirates are a lost cause for this year.
And they are. The Pirates have some young, talented guys. I think they're holding Brian Reynolds hostage. I think they got to move him. But Cabrian Hayes and O'Neill Cruz, I look forward to seeing what they can do.
Oh, and don't forget this. So that I agree with that. But the NL Central, so I'd say it's a two-man race most likely. Now, let's get to the best division in the NL, arguably. The NL East, where you have three pretty solid teams and then one decent team and a really bad team. What do you think about the NL East?
Okay, I'll try not to be biased.
All right.
5th, the Nationals. I don't think that's even a question.
Yeah.
4th, Miami. Another as easy as it seems. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. Now we get into the top 3. I really struggle with this because I'm biased. I've seen what happened in the playoffs. I'm a believer. But I'm going to put that all aside. 3rd place, the New York Mets. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who are big on the Mets right now. I think they have a lot of injuries to begin the season. I don't think Scherzer and Verlander can hold up. I don't know what you're going to get out of Senga.
He looked good.
Carrasco's, I'm sorry, he's going to fall off. Then they said they had the young guys like Peterson and McGill to fill the role. I just don't have put a lot of stock in them. Their lineup, don't get me wrong, they're gonna feast. Pete's gonna hit a lot of home runs. Lindor's gonna be good. Nimmo's gonna be good. McNeil might win the batting title again. That'll be tough with Arias in the NL. But yeah, the Mets just don't scare me this year.
I agree. I don't think they're that good.
Number two, if they would have added Correa, I would say it's completely different.
Oh, definitely.
Number two, and this is where it kills me to do this. The Phillies are going to be second.
Whoa. Really?
The Phillies are going to be in second place in the NL East.
Why do you think that?
I just know Atlanta's track record.
You think they're the better team?
Atlanta's too good to not win that division.
But do you think they have longevity? Because did you see? I get it. Again, I understand it's opening day. But did you see what happened to the number one prospect against the worst team in their division?
Fill me in.
Jared Schuster is their number one prospect.
Yes, sir.
He got absolutely obliterated by the Nationals, who are the worst team in the NL East. He gave up 4 earned in 1 inning. Like, I get he had a bit of a bounce back, but it was rough. It was ugly. And think about it. That's their best. That's their future. That's their best talent in the farm.
Yeah, and then you have guys like Ian Anderson. I don't have faith in Ian Anderson after last year.
No,
You sent Fried to the IL. How long is he going to be there?
Exactly. And
Kyle Wright's already there.
Kyle Wright's there, and
Spencer Strider keep up the historic pace he had last year. I mean,
where did he come from?
To be honest with you, man, that's a guy right there who could be. Let's see. There's so much talent there. There is really a lot of talent there. We could look back on this season, at the end of the season, and say he's a top 3 pitcher in baseball.
It's crazy though, because like he came out of nowhere. Like, was he hyped up or anything?
No, he wasn't.
Like, he just showed up and dominated.
I mean, think about it. He was striking up people at a higher clip than DeGrom.
I know, it's insane. I don't get it.
Striking out 13 guys in 5 innings.
It's freaking.
When you're throwing more pitches like that, yeah, the strikeouts look nice, but you're also taking more pitches to, get the strikeout. More strikeouts means you're throwing at least 3 pitches per at bat. You factor that in. He is kind of wild. Don't get me wrong. He does walk a few batters. So,
but think about this too. He doesn't have a huge
innings.
Like, he's doing this dominance. Doesn't he only have like 3 pitches?
Yeah, he had it. He added a change up this year.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's good. I think your list, as far as that goes, I think it's pretty good. I think the Mets are. I agree. The Nationals are last for sure, and the Mets are probably third. But I think between the Phillies and Braves at number 1. I think once Harper gets back, I think the Phillies might be number 1.
Harper's on pace to come back earlier than expected. They said June or July, the All-Star break. They're saying he may be back early to mid-May.
Because think about this. Let's be real. let's go around the diamond with the Braves and the Phillies. I think Harper is better than Acuna.
Harper is better than Acuna.
I don't even know if you can debate it anymore.
Okay,
Like
let's
people,
go around the diamond. Catcher.
yeah,
Advantage, Philadelphia.
absolutely,
First
no
base,
doubt.
Olson's good. If Reese was playing, we could debate it. But Derek Hall, he's a young guy. He's gonna hit a lot of home runs. He's gonna give you decent. Advantage Atlanta, but Derek Hall could shock somebody. Second base. Advantage Atlanta.
Definitely.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Stott's a young guy. From June on, he was a completely different hitter. He wasn't, overwhelmed like he was early. Stott gives you good defense, but Ozzy's just Ozzy.
Ozzy's great.
Shortstop. Advantage Philadelphia.
You think?
Yeah.
Do you really think so?
Trey Turner.
Orlando Arcia? I'm just kidding. I know.
But no. And then third base advantage Atlanta. Austin Riley's underrated.
Austin Riley's freaking goated.
Alec Boehm, he's made strides, but he's not at that level. Left field,
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber. He doesn't give you much defensively,
No.
but he's gonna. He's gonna hit. He led the NL runs last year. 46. Who does Atlanta put out there?
I think they put Eddie Rosario, don't they?
Yeah. I'm gonna just say advantage Philadelphia.
I agree.
Center field, Michael Harris is good.
He's
better than
advantage.
the platoon of Marsh and Pache.
Definitely.
Right field, that's where you have Castellanos and Acuna.
Well, Acuna's way better than Castellanos.
He is. Can Castellanos bounce back with the hitting? I hope so. Castellanos defense, everybody said he's terrible. I get it. He's not good. But he made some pretty damn good plays in the playoffs. I don't want to have to rely on him. I want Harper back out there, but it's not an argument. Acuna is better. But the DH with Harper in the lineup, it's not even close. I'm sorry.
Harper.
And let's get into the pitching. Along with Milwaukee, the Phillies you could argue has the best 1-2 punch in baseball of Nola and Wheeler.
You might be able to argue it, but I would definitely debate anyone that said it.
Yeah, you can argue it. Now, I think when you look at the Phillies 4, it's deeper than Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Nola, Wheeler, Ranger. Ranger's a good number 3.
Mhm.
Taijuan Walker. So, it's just there. The Phillies were missing a reliable fourth starter in the playoffs last year. That's what they addressed. Now, if we talk about the playoffs, that's where this whole thing takes a different shape. I'm not afraid of the Mets in the playoffs. Verlander is bad in the playoffs. the last 3 years, Scherzer's worn down the stretch, so I'm not afraid of that. But we know what the
Wow.
Phillies did last year. When you add in a fourth starter like Taijuan Walker, who's reliable, it's scary. I mean, in a 3-game series, you're going to see Nola, Wheeler, Ranger. I mean, you know it. The Cardinals faced them. They didn't even go to 3 games.
No, I know. I just the thing about the Mets, man, I don't know how you can say Verlander's not good. They won a World Series.
I'm not saying he's not good, but Verlander in the playoffs, as you know, does not have a good track record.
Well, no, but now I think he's getting better with age.
Oh, he's like a wine. He's getting better with age.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think the Phillies' biggest threat's the Braves, but don't sleep on the Mets. I don't know. I think though, when it comes down to, let's talk about awards. So
Now, can the Mets? Another thing, can the Mets close out games this year?
no.
When you lose Edwin Diaz for the entire season, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't know how you recover from that. And
They got the
it's
trumpets blaring.
he got hurt from celebrating too. That's the craziest
Yeah.
part.
Can David Robertson close out games for them? I mean,
No.
David Robertson's 39 years old. I wouldn't want to rely on him as my full-time closer. But let's get into season awards.
Oh yeah, this is the best.
It is. It is. So first off, I guess we can start with. You know what? Let's create an award for the Full Count Pick Six podcast.
Ooh.
Let's create an award. Who do you think is going to make the biggest strides as a club in the AL and the NL? Who do you think is going to make the biggest improvement from 2022 to 2023?
In the AL, I think most improved will be the Orioles. And in the NL, the Diamondbacks.
Those are 2 good teams. I would
They
pick them.
are.
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do you one better.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with a team. And I thought about this a lot today. In the AL, you sold me. I wasn't drinking their Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
But I thought about it. You really sold me on them. You should be a salesman.
Who?
I think there's a team who lost almost 94 games in the AL who's going to be a big improvement, a massive improvement. Might win close to 20 more games. I think they're going to be right around 85, 86 wins.
Who do you think that is?
I think it's the Texas Rangers.
See, I told you. Yeah, they're good.
Well, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team because I think the Mariners are going to win 95 plus games.
Uh,
And in the NL, this is a big one because I don't think when I look at where they were, so I look at a team like the Cubs, they made improvements. They still won 74 games. I get that's nothing impressive. But if they move 6 wins up to 80, it's an improvement. Here's where I think there's 2. There's a team who won or lost almost 100 games. They lost 93 games. I do think the Marlins are going to be closer to 80 wins.
really?
But I know a team who lost 100 games, and I want to say the Diamondbacks. I do. I really do.
Oh, they
But
will.
I just can't do that.
Why?
It's tough. I mean, I got to be a little different.
But so
I'm going to throw out a bold prediction. This ain't a guarantee. It's a bold prediction. I
okay.
bet you in the NL a massive improvement. Now, they're not going to be good, but I think they can win more than 62 games, like the compared to last year. And I think it's an improvement. I think
Who's that?
I think the Cincinnati Reds could make a pretty big improvement. I think they could win in addition. I think they could win 8 more games this year. I think they could get up to 70 wins.
Who's putting them over the hump? Who do you got?
I
What's
think
changed?
Lodolo and Hunter Green make massive improvements. I think they each
Okay.
can combine to each add in about 4 more wins. They can pick up 4 more wins apiece. That's really not that much when you think about pitching.
No.
And that'll attribute to 8 more wins. I mean, Hunter Green just threw a pitch. What was it, Sunday or Saturday? They hit 105.2 miles per hour, the second fastest pitch ever recorded.
That's insane.
And funny thing, the first fastest pitch ever recorded was thrown by Aroldis Chapman in a Reds uniform. It was thrown 105.8 miles per hour. Thrown to Andrew McCutchen. Hunter Green, 105.2 miles per hour in a Reds uniform. Thrown to Andrew McCutchen.
Whoa.
Both in a Pirates uniform. So, I mean, Andrew McCutchen's seen the 2 fastest pitches ever.
Did he hit him?
No, he just watched. I mean, I wouldn't even try to hit him.
Oh man, not even Kutch.
But nope, not Kutch. But as we just said, you got the Orioles and
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks. I think I got one there with the Rangers that you probably may want back.
And the
And I
Reds.
got the Reds. I think the Reds can win 8 or 9 more games.
And you're a big Kutch fan too. I remember you love Kutch.
I like Kutch a lot, yeah.
You
But
miss him on Philly.
I think he'd be a good bench bat.
Well, they let him go. You miss DD.
I don't miss DD. How could I miss DD when you got Trey Turner?
DD's better. I'm just kidding. All right, so
Okay.
let's quickly talk about the awards, a couple of them, and then we should probably wrap up. What do you say?
Yes, sir. How about we start with the MVP?
All right, we'll start with the MVP. I'll go first. I'll name them both, the NL and the AL MVPs. I think in the National League MVP is going to be, you're going to be shocked by this. Are you ready?
Wait, what did you say first?
The National League MVP.
Let's hear it.
I think the National League MVP for this baseball season is going to be Nolan Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay. You got a little bit of bias in you, but
No, and here's why. Do you remember last year he was in the running?
he was in the running.
And do you remember his teammate Paul Goldschmidt won the award?
Yeah.
Do you also remember that? Have you been keeping track? Nolan Arenado in his first 2 seasons with St. Louis got better each year.
Yes, he did.
First year, very good. Shocking. because everyone didn't know how he'd be out of Coors Field. Did very good. Second year, comes in very close. I believe he was top 3 in MVP voting,
I
wasn't
think he
he?
was second.
He was second. He was the runner-up to his teammate Paul Goldschmidt. Year 3 in St. Louis. He's off to a hot start. I get it's only 3 games. I think he can win it this year. And I think the competition's thin. I really do. In the NL, I think the competition for MVP this year is thin, especially with guys like Harper that are only going to play about half the year. If that,
Tatis missing 3
Tatis,
weeks.
he's going to play half the year. Like, these guys are missing a lot of time. Acuna, I just don't think he's the same anymore. Mookie Betts, I think his MVP years behind him, I think. That's my prediction. And then here's the AL. Judge had a great year, but there's no chance he comes anywhere close to that good. I think in the AL, if this player can stay healthy all year, I think they win the AL MVP. That is Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros, because I think he's the best pure hitter in baseball. And
Argue there.
what's that?
You can't argue there.
And I think the fact that he doesn't play, like, I know he plays a little more than the field than he did, but the fact that he doesn't, I think that limits injuries. Like, all he did, he's pretty much a DH. He's probably, I would assume there's not much room for injury unless he gets a massive hit by pitch or something like that. That's my predictions. What do you think?
I like it. The NL, I believe it is thin.
It is.
The NL, I'm really sold on a guy who moved to a new team, fresh face, fresh jersey,
Huh.
donning the number 7.
Trey Turner. Okay.
Trey Turner. I think Trey Turner, when you factor in the incentive of stealing more, he's moving from Dodgers Stadium, which isn't very hitter friendly. I know he's still going to hit roughly 300. He might win another batting title.
Maybe.
He might bat 315, 320. I think he's going to be closer to 30 home runs, 40 to 50 steals, have an on-base percentage roughly close to 400. I think Trey Turner's going to have a massive year. And the odds at plus 1,100, I really like that. I might put some money on that. But the NL is obviously not as crowded as the AL.
AL's
shocking one, but I think there's just a lot of hype around him.
Who?
I think he's going to take a massive step forward. I think he's going to have a damn good year.
Who's that?
I think when you look at Shohei.
Oh.
I'm not going, it's not Shohei. I think the voters don't like to vote for him because it seems like the easy thing to do. Because honestly, he's the most valuable player in all of baseball.
He is.
But, I mean, you have to do something historic. I mean, I think he's going to be top 2. He's definitely going to be there. He's going to get the votes. Mike Trout. I don't think he's going to stay healthy all year, unfortunately.
I don't think he'll win another MVP in his career, unfortunately.
I think we got to get a fresh face up at the top. I think Trout's successor as the best center fielder in baseball makes himself known quicker than what you might think.
Who?
I think Julio Rodriguez wins the AL MVP.
Whoa. I can't.
It might be a year too early, but I'm sorry. I think he can do it.
I can't see it. I just can't. Look, man, he's really good. He's really talented. He's a five-tool guy, wouldn't you say?
He is a five-tool guy.
But the thing about him is, I really do think he's a tad overrated. I seriously do. I don't think he can get MVP yet. No way. Especially when with such a crowded AL. I don't think
Honestly,
I don't think there's a chance.
I think he can get it.
I think Kyle Tucker has a better chance.
Kyle Tucker does have a good chance. I think J-Ram has a good chance too.
You think so?
I think Jose Ramirez has a very good shot.
I don't know.
Jose Ramirez is good every year, man.
And you're back to the NL with your Trey Turner. I don't think there's a chance in hell. I just don't, dude. Think about it. He hasn't won one yet. Why would he win one now?
I just think the move to a more hitter-friendly ballpark, the changes to the rules. He's gonna bat leadoff. The guy's gonna have over 110 runs. He's gonna bat in the 300s.
But can he
Everything you look at him to do, it's there. This is like the year to do it. Like everything's lining up for Trey Turner.
But can he hit 300 or can he hit 30 plus home runs?
Can he hit 30 plus home runs?
Yes.
I don't think he needs to hit 30 to win it.
You don't think?
I think if he gets 28, drives in
Mm,
over 100 RBIs,
I don't.
top
I
3 in the majors in hits, which he's been
Mhm.
the last 4 seasons.
I don't think I I can't remember, dude. I'm telling you right now, home runs mean a lot. I don't think. Do you know the last time a guy won league MVP without 30 plus home runs?
That's a very good question.
I'd challenge you to find me one because I don't know. And plus, I don't think Trey Turner can do it. I don't think he's got enough power to hit 30 home runs plus. And yeah, I agree with you. He'll probably be close to the top of the National League in batting average. He'll probably lead the National League in steals. And he will probably
I think it was Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer. That was the last time.
It might be Joe Mauer.
That was a long time ago.
2008.
That
Sorry,
that is
2009.
that's a damn long time ago.
We're talking a 365 batting average, 444 on base percentage.
I get that. That's ridiculous. And he obviously deserved to win it, but I'm just saying you got to have a season that good. You know what I mean? If you're not going to hit high amount of home runs. And will Trey Turner have a bunch of RBIs as the leadoff batter? I don't know.
Yes, sir, he will.
But think about it. The leadoff spot isn't notorious for RBIs. It's notorious for scoring runs, stealing bases. RBIs are when you're hitting in the middle of the
Oh,
order.
you're stupid. The last one was in 2020.
Who?
Abreu and Freeman. They both had under 30 home runs.
No, but that's the COVID year. That doesn't count.
No, 2017 it happened.
Who?
Altuve hit 24,
Oh,
but he batted
really?
346.
Holy shit. See, that's why. See, if you don't
Trout,
get the whole-
2016, hit 29.
Who?
Trout in 2016,
Trout. Okay. What was his average?
315.
See, that's
100
insane.
RBIs, 30 stolen bases. I'm telling you, Trey Turner could replicate that. Andrew McCutchen, 2013, only hit 21. Buster Posey in 2012, 24.
But listen, I don't even think Trey Turner can get 20 plus.
Trey Turner's gotten 20 plus the last 3 years.
I don't think he can do it in Philly, man. Does he have one yet?
Trey Turner in 2021 hit 28.
Oh, how many last year?
21.
Okay.
But you're talking he was playing in LA too.
Yeah, true. I don't know, man. I think Nolan Arenado has a better shot. That man hits 30 plus. I don't think there's been a year he hasn't, unless he's been hurt.
Listen, I just think that's the thing, right? You have to look at the season. I think
Average
everything's lining up for Trey Turner.
average is in the 300s
Yeah.
for Arenado. Probably.
Yeah, I think it's 290.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. 290.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'd like to
33
hear.
home runs, 105 RBIs.
I'd really like to hear Luke's opinion on that. Who he thinks has a better shot, Arenado or Trey Turner? But we are. I'm glad you agree with me. The competition is light this year in the NL.
Yeah.
The big names are not around. They're hurt.
Now, why don't we get into the Cy Young?
Cy Young, yeah. I'll let you go first.
The Cy Young in the NL. I think this is the year a certain pitcher who was robbed
Oh no.
in 2021 gets the job done.
You're saying Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler is going to win the NL Cy Young this year.
You really think?
I think he just puts it all together this year.
No, man. I
The AL Cy Young. Now that's a tough one. That
It
is a
is.
tough one. But I think this is the year Garrett Cole gets it done and he gets his Cy Young.
You think?
I think both those men have been robbed. Garrett Cole more often. Zach Wheeler got robbed in 2021.
I don't think he did.
I believe he did.
I don't think so, dude. Corbin Burns, man, he deserved it.
Let's just go back and forth. Right.
Uh,
You can say that. I'll say whatever I want. That's why we're here to debate it. Zach Wheeler was a workhorse. He led the NL in innings pitched, strikeouts, complete games. His ERA was very comparable. I mean, everything that was there was there. His FIP was lower than Corbin Burns. Everything was there, man.
but did his team make the playoffs?
That's the thing. Did Corbin Burns' team make the playoffs?
They did not. Did they? I don't think they did.
They did not.
I think the Cardinals did.
The Cardinals made the playoffs, yes.
Well, I guess we all can assume that they're great. But anyway,
Who are your picks for the Cy Young?
so in the National League, I'm going to pick for the Cy Young. I guess I just can't take a Philly pitcher. I don't think they have what it takes. I think the National League Cy Young is going to go to Julio Urias from the LA Dodgers. How crazy is that?
That is pretty crazy.
Like, would you have ever have guessed me picking him?
A little bit, yeah.
Why's that?
Well, I know you're pretty high on him.
So
He seems
that's
to
my
do everything right every year. I mean, his ERA is always low, but I
Yep,
think he has the benefits of a good defense behind him.
he
The
does.
defense in LA is kind of going down a little bit. You don't have Bellinger playing a great center field. You have Trace Thompson. You don't have Trey Turner behind you. You have Miguel Rojas. So, I mean, it's a little bit different there. You look at his numbers, his FIP and everything, he really benefits from the defense behind him. If you look at FIP, which do you know what FIP is?
Um, yeah, fit. I forget what it stands for. Something per inning pitched.
So FIP, right? It factors in the likelihood of certain aspects based upon the defense. So it factors into your defense. It helps out pitchers who put themselves in a good position where if you're a ground ball pitcher, the ball's in play, right?
Yeah,
Factors in if you're putting the ball in play, you're not going to be very well put in that category. So, like with the Dodgers or Max Fried of Atlanta, Max Fried's a good pitcher,
yeah, he is.
but if you look at his FIP compared to his ERA, his FIP shows the whole story because ERA only shows a little snapshot. If you have a bad defense behind you like Nola and Wheeler had the last couple seasons, their FIP's going to tell you the whole story. They can keep, well, outside of 2021, Nola can keep his ERA down, and his FIP is down too because Nola limits the ball from going into play better than Urias and Max Fried. Same thing with Wheeler. So without that defense behind him, if you look at Urias' FIP, it's a lot higher than his ERA.
But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just an example, let me pull up his baseball reference real quick.
I don't listen. I don't think I like FIP. I think that's an excuse for people to make pitchers seem better than they are.
His FIP. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 2022. His ERA was 2.16, led the majors.
That's amazing.
His FIP 3.71.
But dude,
2021. His ERA 2.96.
amazing.
His FIP 3.13. 2020, his ERA 3.27. His FIP 3.72. 2019, his ERA 2.49. His FIP 3.43. Now let me show you an example of 2017. He had an ERA of 5.40. That's pretty bad. His FIP 3.17. So in a case like that, it shows he's a better pitch. He pitched better than his ERA.
No, I don't like it. Listen, that's again, I think that's stat, man. It's there for people to be like, oh, this pitcher's not as bad as you think. What? It's a newer stat, am I right?
It is a newer stat. It's
a newer stat.
Fielding
Listen,
independent pitching.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going by the baseball classic stats. They're the ones that matter. The original baseball stats.
You want to hear it? You want me to break it down for you? I didn't explain it very well. FIP is similar to ERA.
Not the same.
It focuses solely on the events a pitcher has the most control over. Strikeouts, unintentional walks, hit by pitches, and home runs. It entirely removes results on balls hit into the field of play.
Oh,
For example, if a pitcher has surrendered a high average on balls in play, his FIP will likely be lower than his ERA. Balls in play are not part of the FIP equation because a pitcher is believed to have limited control over their outcome. So here's
that
a pitcher who puts the ball in play less, obviously, is a better pitcher than one who's constantly putting it in play.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
I can't, because he has no control over his defense behind him. If the defense doesn't catch a ball, because you and I both know errors are based upon scorers' decisions, right?
Yes, yeah.
So there's times where there's a play that should be an error, but it's not an error because of a bias or because of somebody's a human opinion. We can go back and look at the plays that should have been the worst fielding plays that were called hits. We could say that's an error, but it's not an error. It's a hit, and it led to a run. So, I mean, it's just stuff like that.
I don't know.
Vic looks at what the pitcher has done and doesn't factor in the idiots behind him who can't make a play.
But think about it. That's unfair to all the old pitchers. Like Nolan Ryan, no one
Go
cared
back
about
and calculate their FIPS too.
but nobody cared back then.
Give me a random pitcher, an older
All
pitcher.
right. I'll give you a random pitcher. I'm gonna give you. How about the great Pedro Martinez?
Pedro could be a great example, right? Because Pedro has historically low ERAs.
Yes.
Pedro's great with ERAs, right?
Pedro's one of the greatest pitchers to ever touch a
Let me
baseball.
tell you something. The years that Pedro led the league in ERA, guess what? His FIP was right there with it.
Really?
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying the FIP, any ball that's put in play by the pitcher does not count against them
Unless it's a home run.
unless it's a home run, because that's all their fault.
Yeah, that is their fault.
It is, I agree. You're saying that a pitcher allowing a fly ball in the center and the center fielder misses it, you say that should not count against the pitcher.
If it's a catchable fly ball, yeah.
I think it does count against the pitcher, even if he drops it, because the pitcher should struck the batter out.
But a pitcher can't strike out every batter.
That's true. But if a pitcher can't
That's why
strike
if he
out a
does,
batter,
the FIP factors in, did he strike him out? Yeah. If he did, great. Boom. The FIP's lower. But if he didn't, it goes up.
the strike if they can't strike him out, they induce a ground ball. That's the second best outcome, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because a ground ball is basically guaranteed.
Which
an
that
out.
helps him, right? Because if he induces a ground ball and it's an out, it helps him, right?
Right.
But if
Well, I
it's,
thought you said any ball
error,
in play doesn't count.
yeah, you're right.
It should. Here's what I get it. I get it. Nola and Wheeler have good FIPS. Oh, blah, blah. Clearly, that hasn't equated to Cy Young's, though, has it? Neither of them have one. So what I'm saying is, I think Julio Urias has a better shot. He's the man in LA now. I think he's the best pitcher on the roster without Walker Buehler. And I also think I want to tell you my AL prediction because I don't think I ever said it. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
You're never going to guess it. I know you have what are you guessing? Just take a guess of who you think I'm going to say.
Dylan Cease.
No. You ready for who I'm going to say?
Say it.
Shane McClanahan
Ooh,
from the
that's a
Tampa
good
Bay
pick.
Rays. I think he's going to win it
He very well could win it.
because I think he's good.
He's very good.
So that's my two predictions. And the FIP thing, man. Well, I don't like it. Why'd they have to come out with that?
Because here's the thing. Why is it so important? The teams are using advanced metrics as part of their decision making, right?
Right.
Whether it be trading, draft, baseball decision making. So, as an example, to put it in fewer words, FIP values the outcomes a pitcher can control, with everything
Okay.
else, balls put into play being league average for everybody. And that way, FIP acts as a better indicator of how a pitcher actually performed, separate from simply looking at the results from the box score.
All right. So have Cy Young winners. Let's look at Justin Verlander. Was his FIP really good?
His FIP was very good because he got strikeout. He struck people out at a high rate. He kept the ball in the yard.
Did he have the best FIP in the AL?
Last year?
Yes.
He had the second best FIP in the AL. His FIP was 2.49.
Okay. Second. Who was first? Dylan Cease?
Yes, he was.
Why didn't he win? If FIP's the most important stat.
I'm not saying FIP is the most important stat, right?
Oh.
But I'm just saying FIP is another stat we can look at. FIP is better than ERA.
You think?
ERA plus is another stat we can look at.
Why aren't the judges agreeing though?
What's another one you want to look at here?
A pitcher? I want to look at the NL Cy Young winner last year. Sandy Alcantara. What was his FIP? Was he the leader in the NL? I'm going to guess not.
Okay. Sandy Alcantara. He had a FIP of 2.99.
Okay.
It was not the best in the NL.
Probably not even top 5.
It was not top 5.
So right there again, how did he win? Well, he had a couple complete games. He had a lot of innings pitched, obviously, because of that. And his ERA was pretty good. So why weren't other pitchers above him if his FIP wasn't even in the top 5? Tell me it was in the top 10.
It was in the top 10, but here's my original argument, right? When you look at Julio Urias, right?
Yes.
When FIP works as something to gauge how good you are at keeping the ball out of play.
Right.
When you take the defense away that the Dodgers lost and Cody Bellinger, Trey Turner, those guys,
yeah,
the ball is going to be put in play more. That hit into a gap that Cody Bellinger may catch. Trace Thompson may not catch it, which turns that ball into a double.
Yeah, true.
That range that Trey Turner has to go get a ball that was going to be a single, that he gets an out, that puts another person on base. That's going to affect his whip. That's going to
Yeah.
affect a lot of other things. That's why I'm saying FIP shows you how a pitcher performed. If you want to look at a better indicator to tell you how a pitcher was, let's look at ERA plus. Do you know what that is?
ERA plus. Remind me what the plus stands for.
So ERA plus. It's a scale. It goes on a scale from 0 to whatever, right? With 100 being league average, it takes the play and performance of every player, adjusts the ballpark to league average, takes in consideration the ballpark you play in,
Okay.
puts it on a scale where 100 is league average. If you're a 120 ERA plus hitter, you're 20% above league average. Justin
Okay.
Verlander's ERA plus last year was 220.
Holy shit.
Aaron
So they're
Judge.
saying,
Let's look at Aaron Judge, right?
yeah,
Because batters have one too.
that's crazy.
They have OPS plus,
Oh, yeah.
which looks at your on base plus slugging. They rate it on a scale of 0 to whatever, 100 being league average. Aaron Judge, OPS plus last year led the majors 211. For his
That's
career,
crazy.
he's 163 OPS plus hitter.
That's insane, isn't it?
He's a 63% better hitter than the MLB average for his career.
So he's a good hitter.
He's a good hitter. He's a damn good hitter. We can look at Mike Trout. We can look at anybody you want.
ERA plus hitter, Goldschmidt.
So OPS plus for Paul Goldschmidt.
Yes.
The OPS plus for Paul Goldschmidt last year was 180.
That's good.
That's good. He's 80% better than the league average hitter.
That's great. And he won MVP.
Yeah.
So are you saying OPS plus, ERA plus are the most effective stats at truly determining top hitters and pitchers in the MLB?
Yeah, because it takes the performance scale of everybody and puts it on a scale with every ballpark adjusted to a certain average. So yeah, it really factors in everything.
So it's like the greatest stat ever invented.
I think it's, if I were to look at a stat to try to gauge some for a pitcher, that's what I would look at, yes.
But does ERA plus take into account strikeouts?
It takes into account everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Innings pitched.
Innings pitched.
And the ballpark they play in.
So ERA
Right.
plus takes a player's ERA and normalizes it across the entire league. It accounts for external factors like ballparks and opponents. Then adjusts it so a score of 100 is league average and 150 is 50% better than the league average.
Very interesting.
It does the same thing with OPS plus.
You know what? I think you've convinced me. It's a valuable stat.
Yeah.
So, you know what? That was some good baseball education, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was very educational. Maybe we need to do a segment where we look at sabermetrics and break it down for the people.
Maybe. And maybe law ball can help.
I'm not sure Lawball's a big sabermetrics guy.
Well, we won't know till we ask, right?
That's true.
Well, I'd say that's a wrap for this episode. What do you think?
That is a wrap. Lars Nootbaar is going to the IL.
Oh,
Juan Yepez has been recalled from AAA.
oh no.
Tyler
Not
Mahle was
Nootbaar.
dealing in his first start. 5 innings pitched, 7 Ks.
Not Nootbaar.
Red Sox rookie Triton Casas, who hit 5 homers during his September call-up last year, hit his first of the year. And just some more news from around the league before we end.
Yes.
Masataka Yoshida hits his first MLB home run today. And the MLB and MLB players agreed on a 4-game suspension for Anthony Rendon.
4 games, that's it?
Yep.
For threatening a fan.
Yes, sir. 4 games.
Huh, that's not bad. He got off easy.
Yep. And Kodai Senga dazzled yesterday.
Yes, he did. He looked great.
So, as we end it, I'm Will.
And I'm Gage, your baseball professional.
Yeah, we're a couple of wannabe professionals who talk sports. And this has been our season introduction to the Full Count Pick Six podcast, which will be back on I want to say, weekly basis. We'll try for that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be coming back to you with more baseball, football. Maybe we'll get into basketball postseason playoffs.
Maybe.
We got an expert on soccer like Aaron who can break soccer down for you. We'll talk about anything sports related.
It's going to be a great year. Great seasons of sports.
Yep.
Have a good night, everyone.
We're going to cut it here. We'll get this out to you tomorrow, April the 4th.
Sounds amazing. You have a good night, everyone. You enjoy some baseball.